How's it going, everybody? Happy Thursday. It is Thursday today. Happy Thursday. Guys, if you're on here, please be sure to hit the like button, tag anybody, share this with someone that you think may find it important, interesting, all of that. I'm really excited about today's collaboration. You guys know by now that the Passport Bros has been trending, especially over the last month or two. It has just been a constant topic of discussion. And I always think it's just so hilarious that these supposedly leftover men are making this big fuss all over the internet. But nevertheless, they are. So we're here to talk to Dennis Spurling, aka Uncle D, aka the Blizzard King, to talk all things Passport Bros, this movement, wintertime, and anything in between. So this should be good, guys. And yeah, hit the like button on the way, and we'll get started. Bring it up. Hey.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome me in. Back again, huh? To the sanctuary with the ladies.
Now, you'll have to tell me
Yeah.
what's the story behind the Blizzard King. Maybe I missed it.
Well, people were saying
It's Wednesday.
okay, so here's the thing. I was good friends with Kevin Samuels before he passed away. And he did his best to like hold me back. Like I had plans to develop a database of all the people we didn't like. I gone about different ways of getting their private information because you got a lot of people that hide out on the internet and stuff
Yes.
like that, and they talk a lot of stuff. And so, like, I'm like, you can't hide from me. I sue people for a living. I hunt people down all the time that don't want to be hunted. I got private investigators all across America, and that's all they do is send me a bill for $75, and they will track you down. They'll follow you. They'll get your information and know where you live, your mama live. And so it's like they can't hide from me. I'm not gonna let them talk stuff about it. I mean, now that you're on my team, Kevin, like you my team, you my friend now. And it makes me look bad if we had these people out here talking stuff about you. So he held me back. He said, no, don't worry about them. We got money to make. We're gonna fly up here to New York and we're gonna meet this guy and we're gonna get a factory full of stuff and sell stuff and be multimillionaires. And I'm like, well, I'm already a millionaire. This is what I like to do. I like to do this. Like I enjoy the conflict. And I think lead attorney mentioned recently, he said, yeah, Kevin said you like to fight. Yeah. So, but then, when Kevin passed away, I'm like, well, I'm sorry, I'm sad he's gone, but now I get a chance to do everything that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And so, I say what I want to say. I don't watch my tone. It's like you just let the savage out of the cage. You killed the gentleman, and now the savage is here. So
Okay.
Kevin was telling you guys winter was coming. And if winter was coming, I am the Blizzard King. I am here. I'm saying everything that he was trying to warn you guys about. I'm for the most part, I'm Black America's worst nightmare because I'm the product of the last 55 years of hate and neglect. I'm the young Black boy that grew up in the ghetto, who didn't know who his real father was, that saw the drugs, who saw the gang violence, who saw the who saw all the underbelly of Black America. Kevin, on the other hand, Kevin grew up in Oklahoma. He had a loving mother, even though he had some similar situations. I grew up, people say you woke up with violence. I was born with violence. And so there's millions of me out there. Unfortunately, many of them are dead or in jail because, that's what we were, told. You're not going to let it be past 26. So I'm going to get it how I live. But here I am with a law degree and money and time on my hands, and I've been unleashed. You see what I'm saying? So this is kind of what you asked for. You didn't listen, not you, of course, but they didn't listen to Kevin, who was saying, hey, sister, we need you to, reform yourself. We need you to become better. We need you to do better. You didn't listen to him talking to you every night. Well, people like me just, okay, well, maybe this will work. So that's why I'm the Blizzard King, because I don't hold back. You're gonna die dealing with me. You see what I'm saying? A horrible, miserable, proverbial death, so to speak. So yeah, I know I got a little dark there for a minute, but yeah, I'm still happy. Look.
Well, and you just reaffirmed why your channel is almost exclusively to men.
Yeah, I don't talk to women. I
Yeah,
don't.
that's okay.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, like, let me say. So I was married once. God bless my wonderful ex-wife from the Ninth Ward. I'm not married now. I have a beautiful Afro-Latina fiance who Kevin actually hooked me up with. She was in an Ivy League university up in the Northeast. And what I found is it takes a very feminine and cooperative woman to deal with me, because you want to fight, we can fight. That's what I do. I wake up fighting, go to sleep thinking about fighting. My fiance, one time I woke up and she's like, you were just dreaming, talking about I'm tough. Like, this is you know, it's built into my psyche. Like it's not, I'm not faking, I'm smiling, but this is who I am. So it takes a very feminine woman to be with someone like myself, you know. And but anyway, that's it. What else you got? Where we at?
Shout out to Malarkey. Always show
Uh-huh.
love and support.
Yeah.
Hey, Sister Shay and Uncle D just dropping some worthless UK coins in the
Oh,
pot.
damn, that UK money, that UK money is expensive. I
Listen,
spent some time on Oxford Street over there one time. Man, I don't like that UK money. They don't give you much for your American money over there. But anyway, yeah. But shout out to the UK.
well, I appreciate the worthless UK money, Malarkey. That makes sense. I was wondering where the Blizzard King situation came from. So thank you for clarifying. Now, on to this topic of the passport bros. You know by now this has been, I mean, you've been running your channel for years, and this topic is not new, but for whatever reason, the last couple of months, and especially the last couple of weeks, I feel like it's really, really blown up.
Right.
And it's being perceived as if this is just some new, surprising movement of men going out and just being sexual deviants. Like, to me, I think it's just a total mischaracterization. I'm sure you also
no, men are sexual deviants. I'm one of them. We're sexual deviants. We do stuff like anytime we can get some loose women out there, whether or not you're hanging out with your boys at the college. Yeah, that's what men do. And see, the difference between me and most of these other guys, I'm not making excuses for it. As long as it's legal and they're doing lawful and legal activity, you go right on here. I'm not here to police other men's penises. Matter of fact, I'm not here to police other men's behavior as long as it doesn't affect me. So I'm not trying to separate. I was passport bro before they called it passport bro. But here's what you got to understand. Black men have been traveling overseas for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
I mean, military wise, and then the recent military wars, you got guys in Korea, guys in Vietnam, you got black men all over. Yeah. And I don't see the issue. But what happened was, this is something that's been going on in the black manosphere and the manosphere generally, the manosphere proper, for maybe 10, 15 years now. But see, here's what happened. Kevin Samuels attracted a lot of women to YouTube. So when he passed away, they stayed.
Yeah.
And things start popping up on their algorithm. And they saw the MGTOWs, they saw the IBMORs, and then they saw this passport bro thing. And once they found out what it was, a conversation that existed exclusively between men, then they wanted to take that information and blab it out to the rest of the world. It's like you were privy to a conversation that was going on exclusively with men, and then you didn't like something you heard. Now you want to go tell Big Daddy government. You want to go tell the media and shame men for their activities. To me, so it's been around. But see, here's the thing, ladies. Kevin Samuels had convinced men like me that, hey, you know what? Give American women a chance again. I was done. I don't know if you've seen the pictures and the videos, but there's plenty of evidence out there of what I was doing for the past 10 years before I met my fiance. Like I said, she's Afro-Latina, but at least she's from the Caribbean, which means it's close by. And on top of that, she understands the same culture that I had immersed myself in. And so the thing is, I had gotten used to being treated a certain way with a certain level of respect and appreciation and deference. And so I just wasn't able to, I couldn't come re-socialize and readjust to dealing with American women anymore. I can't do it. Again, it was already bad enough that me and my first and only wife from the Ninth Ward of New Orleans, we just wasn't getting along. You understand what I'm talking about? I mean, I'm from South Central LA, and she's from the Mighty Nine that don't mind dying. It wasn't gonna happen. Lasted about 4 years. We got 2 beautiful, strong, fighting children. Right. And that's it. That's all that happened. Praise Moses. Praise Moses. But so basically these women discovered passport bros, which had been there, and then they start blabbing their mouth and talking about it, made a big deal. Now you got 100,000 TikTok videos about these men going overseas, taking advantage of these women. But that's pretty much what happened.
So Okay, a lot to unpack there. You know, one of the things that I found the most interesting about the backlash around this whole movement is the main complaints that I'm hearing from women are the literal exact same things that they are themselves are doing. For example, you saw that the Fox News report, I had a chance to review your video, and this is actually, I did a live on it because I was I saw it was only like a 6-7 minute segment, but I was kind of surprised because I know you're out in the Houston area, and I'm like, oh, I wonder why they didn't bring you on, especially since you've been in that network before. And after listening through everything and seeing that it was completely and totally one-sided, and by the way, hypocritical. I mean, you bring an OnlyFans model on to try to talk about sex trafficking, like really?
Right.
But after seeing that, I was like, oh, this is like a total hit piece. There is a complete. Not only is there an agenda, like it's, to me, it's the hypocrisy of it all, because nothing that they complained about was anything that they themselves haven't already done or haven't condoned doing. Like as far as like the masses, there is an entire movement that's supporting passport broads, or however you want to put it. You know what I mean?
Praise Moses. Praise, I know just what you mean. There was a book by Bianca C. Williams called The Pursuit of Happiness. The way I found out about it is because they're using this book at Williams College, which is the oldest liberal arts college, and they're studying the habits of Black women going down to Jamaica, getting Yankee woman come down from Babylon for the bamboo, for yard man bamboo. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They want the boom boom massage by the bamboo man, the bamboo king, basically. And they're paying these young men for it. They literally schedule trips. If you want to talk about sex trafficking, it's one thing for some random dude to go down there with his buddies and get drunk and hang out with some loose chicks on the street. It's another thing for an American company to specifically target older Black American women, have them pay them a fee, and then take them to a place in a foreign country wherein they can then solicit prostitution from male prostitutes. That is sex trafficking. And there are women who are doing it, and it's documented in this book by Bianca C. Williams. They're literally saying women old as your grandmother are going down to these spots in Ocho Rios, these spots in Montego Bay, and they are having young men as young as teenage boys banging their back out. You understand what I'm saying? So here's my warning to you lovely ladies out there who said we need to call the government. The grave you dig for these brothers, you want to dig one next to it, because you're going to be in it. Your aunties and all your other folks are going to be in it. So this is the thing. Women have been doing it for decades longer than men. What do I mean by that? There's a movie out called, years out. Stella Got Her Groove Back. You might be too young to remember. Okay. So
I wasn't allowed to watch it, but I remember it. My parents didn't.
Stella Got Her Groove Back was about this old lady who went down to Jamaica to get some bamboo from a young Jamaican man. Okay. What they're masking is the fact that young man was working. You understand what I'm talking about? He was putting his back and he was working. And so that's another aspect that they don't want to talk. They want to, and oh my God, this book talks about how, we're fighting feminism and intra-racism, and this is how we're fighting against the power structure by going down there, getting your back toe up. That's what you're doing. And then white women, shout out to all the white women, because you always some Karens in on it. It's gotten so bad. They've been going to the Gambia. It's so bad now the government is now cracking down on these women going to the Gambia, enticing these young people. They got videos out about this. So, this is pot calling the kettle black, but humans will be humans. But either way, that's what I got to say about that. What else?
Yeah, I remember when I went to Zanzibar a few years back, that and we ended up running across the Maasai, and that ended up being like a topic of conversation, how I don't want to say a lot of Maasai men, but it was not uncommon for like Maasai men to get picked up from like European women, and some of them would decide to go in the lifestyle and become a bit of a sugar baby, or some of them would just not. But it was a thing. It was a thing that people knew happened.
Those first world women are taking advantage of those poor third world dirt foot men. How dare they do that? They're using their their first world money to manipulate those poor men. What a shame.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's just just the hypocrisy of it all. And we personally, my channel, what I talk to for women, like I'm not about to sit here and encourage women to go and engage in sex tourism. But to me, the biggest issue is at the same time you have all these women talking about my body, my choice, and women having the freedom to choose however they want to express themselves sexually. Now they want to go and police the men who are supposed to have the same rights and act like, and then try to make it a moral argument. And you're like, it's like, man, this is obviously not a moral argument. You just are hypocritical.
Now, and let me go a little deeper, and I don't want to get you booted off your channel, but we live in a country where two people of the same sex can marry each other. But you got a problem with dudes going, alcohol consumption is legal, gambling is legal, and in some parts, prostitution is legal. So how then are you going to judge another country for what they allow on a moral scale? You just not no American is in a position to judge anybody else in this world on any degree of morality. You just got to cut it out, especially in our community where we got an out of wedlock birth rate that's off the chain. We got an obesity rate that's off the chain. We kill each other. And I'm talking about men and women. We kill each other at a rate that's just astronomical. Let's not get up on our moral high horse and begin to look down on people. That's just my thoughts on it. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And definitely don't try to be a moral high horse on things that you yourself are doing. Because at your point, eventually, if you run with that energy, then you end up essentially burying yourself in your own grave.
All you ladies, you got that homosexual sleeping on your couch. You bought him that PlayStation 10.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got that, you got that check. He booed up with you. You too big for that young man. You are too wide. Your back is too wide. And that young man could be out there and having him a fine young woman, and he is in there dealing with your 287-pound self because he needs the money. It's the same thing. You tricking too. You just don't believe it, but you are. Okay, so let's cut it out. All these ladies going to Italy, going to Africa, finding you an African king or an Italian king, and you bringing him back to America, and you doing that. Why? You taking advantage of him because he wants a passport. So stop lying. Now, the thing is, I understand why I tell brothers to do it. I tell them specifically because I want to be serious. Passport bros is not a permanent lifestyle, fella. Okay. And I mean, if you want to travel, great. I spent $50,000 on airfare in 2017. It's not sustainable for the average man. $50,000 on airfare.
Wow.
Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you guys, and I was traveling once a week. I had an apartment down in Bogota, Colombia. I had my villa over in the Dominican Republic. It was a party every month. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, that's not sustainable. I would give all that up, and I did. I gave all that up for my one woman, my beautiful fiance. Like I said before, she cooks, she cleans, she's submissive, and cooperative. Many of the things that I'm able to do now, like you see, I put all the merchandise up and stuff. I can't see that goddamn good. So she gets there and types all that stuff in. At this point, she's finishing up law school. So she kind of is starting to run my law office, and when you got a woman like that, you like, okay, I'm gonna pass on these hoes. I'm gonna go ahead and, I see where it's good at. She cooks, she works out. So you give that up, and it's a maturation thing. But see, in the meantime, fellas, if you got to get it out of you, get it out of you. You understand? A lot of black men have been treated so bad in this country. The first time they go to somewhere like maybe Thailand or Brazil or Colombia, they get treated with an overdose of femininity that they're not accustomed to. They get catered to. They get treated well. Now, a lot of women are saying, well, they just doing that because you got money. This coming from the same group of women that say, I'm not going to date a man unless he makes $600,000. Okay? You're complaining about a woman who might be looking for a man to get her a green card or whatever. But this is from the same group of women. You got two welfare babies. You got a child support baby. You get an EBT card. You got a Section 8 card, an Obama phone, and you sitting around here waiting for us, people like me, to get you reparations. So you got to cut it out. You're no better than those women who are looking for something. Matter of fact, I would suggest to you all that Every woman wants something from you, okay? And usually it has some dollar signs attached to it, fellas. If you don't have the financial means to take care of a woman or a family, just don't get married. That's all I'm saying. Marriage is for somebody else. Don't do it. You don't have, part of being the provider is being able to make money and take care of your responsibilities at the home. There's always going to be a financial aspect. If I had daughters, you better be damn right I'm gonna make sure that the man that she ends up with has some goddamn money. You understand? Hell yeah, I might even check his finances. I want to see what you do for a living, how much you got, what's your debt look like. That makes sense to me, because when I send her out there with you, I don't want her coming back to me with some kids. You understand what I mean? So I know you got some money to take care of this young girl we finally got rid of. Send her on out there with you. So nah, I kind of, got off topic a little bit, but I wanted to throw that out there for
you. No, that makes a lot of sense. Shout out to you. What the had a soul. I really hope I didn't butcher that name. Thank you for the 5.
Mm-hmm.
It says America has a place labeled as Sin City. Can't talk. We're in no position as a nation. Could not agree anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Could not agree anymore. Also, shout out to you, Dane C, with the 2.
Yeah.
On this super chat. It says, why am I going to Jamaica for the sweet sugar?
Blood clot.
Yeah, like I said, I personally, I don't understand that lifestyle. I don't condone it. And I don't,
Mm-hmm.
This may sound controversial, but I especially don't understand women going for men that are like half their age. Like, I'm like, how can you not see that person as like your son?
That's because you have class and dignity. Okay? You have class and dignity and self-respect. All right? And that's the difference between women like you and women that aren't like you. You understand what I'm saying? The reason I'm on your show is because you have class and dignity. What I believe we should do is we should talk horribly about the women who don't have class and dignity, and we should reward the Black women who do have class and dignity and hold themselves out like ladies. See, for many years in the Black community, I want you brothers to listen to me, okay? For many years, we have been rewarding hoes with time, attention, and resources, and we have been not giving the women who we should be giving our time, attention, and resources. We've been giving them nothing. And that's why we now have an outcropping of hoes and a deficit of good, solid women that are marriage material. So part of that is our fault, okay? But now here we are. We're going to correct that, and we're going to do it abruptly. Now, if these women don't want to conform, then there are other women in other places who will be cooperative and friendly and sweet and respectful and dignified. But yeah, here's the thing I want you to understand. This whole marriage thing, the woman is supposed to be your better half. You understand what I'm saying? Why would I marry a woman who is just as debaucherous and ravenous and savage as me?
No.
Are you kidding me? Why would I want that? You actually want a woman who can civilize you. You see what I mean? Like, I behave now. I don't flirt with other women. This is coming from a man who is, if you can hear some of these songs that I've written and put out there, some of the debauchery that I've done and experienced, you be like, my God. But that's because, I'm a dude. We don't live as long and life is hard, give me money and I'm free. Okay, I'm gonna do whatever comes. It's like putting a dog in the woods. You want to know what dogs like to eat? Go drop a dog off in the woods. You think that little cute little poodle with the damn bow tie on, you think, oh, he's so trained. He turns into a savage when you give him when you give him free reign to do what he wants. Why would I want to marry a woman like that? So now when you get women like that, when you get women who are as bad as men, right? They smoke more dope than we do. They got more bodies than we do. They got more bodies than a Vietnam vet. They got tattoos up the wazoo. They got babies by 4 or 5 different dudes, which means how many times has some man ejaculated in this woman? How many abortions has she had? If she got 4 or 5, side dude. You understand what I'm saying? This is what you want me to take this woman with my millionaire self or my brothers out there, 100,000, whatever, multi-million, whatever. You want me to take her and her 4 bastard babies by Pookie and Ray Ray and put all of them in my Lamborghini truck and just go on. That's my reward. So I'm debaucherous and I got a debaucherous woman. No, that's not a better half. Y'all equals. That's why I don't get along. Both of them men in the goddamn relationship. They ain't know who's gonna reform who. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't work out that way. No, that ain't working.
Yeah, no, they say you can't have two cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And that's real. Yeah, you can't have both of y'all trying to lead, co-lead. And it's always like you want to lead except for when the leadership role gets difficult, because I talk about this a lot, especially, you talk about feminism, you talk about Christian feminism, you talk to some of these women who say that they're spiritual, godly, or whatever, and they want this whole 50-50 split. And I'm like, if you go back to that scripture where it talks about women submitting, respecting, loving their husbands, scripture before that says a man has to lay down his life for his wife. Okay, so it's like, which position do I want? The one where I just got to respect or submit, or the one where I have to lay down my life? You know what I mean? It's like a leader actually has a heavier burden. Like he has a heavier responsibility. So I think a lot of times women are fighting to get in positions not only that they're not made for, but positions that long term are going to require a lot more work, and it's harder. And that's what I don't get it. It's like, why are you fighting to try to put yourself in a more difficult position?
Well, the thing is, I guess I'm a little bit more traditional, and I tell men don't get married until your late 30s and early 40s, because that gives you about 20 years to build yourself up and get your own house, your own car, your own money. I don't really believe in 50-50 unless the woman is talking shit. You want to be a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man. Go ahead and have that house note up there, baby. Let's see what you got. Let's get half the dinner. No, let me get that 20,000 down payment on this house. Let's you put your half up, I'll put my half up. Now, if you want to shut up and be cooperative and submissive, okay, no problem. I'll pay for it. But as long as you want to act like a man, I'm gonna treat you like a man. You see, and that's pretty much how it goes with me. And I'm gonna hold them to it. See, once you decide to go off in one direction, I'm gonna take you all the way in that direction until you're sick and tired of being in that direction, whether you hate me at the end of it or not. Because see, you asked for it. I give people what they ask for. You want to be a man? I'm gonna treat you like a man. You act like a man, you're gonna deal with me like a man. You're not gonna like it. Men don't even sometimes look, it's hard being a man. There was this lady who was a member of the alphabet community, and she looked a little manly. She was bowled up, had a little deep voice, a little baby teenage mustache, and she decided to try to be a man for a year. And it got so bad and so depressing, she ended up offing herself. And so, yeah, it's very difficult being a man. And most women are not ready to be men. That's why these lovely ladies who said they were strong, independent, and didn't need a man, right? Now they're dealing with what? Medication, obesity, stress. And they're looking at some of them who are 35, 40. They're looking at what? 30, 40 years of being by themselves and supporting themselves. Well, these other ladies who just said, well, let me just shut up and be quiet, they're gonna win. I told my fiance the other day, I said, women like you are gonna win. I said, you should write a book. Why? Because you know how to play. You got this dude right here. All I want to do is go out there, make money, do what I got to do, and come home, have some peace, and think about what else I'm gonna do tomorrow. And you feed me, you leave me alone, you figure what I need, and you go about your business, and I'm gonna take care of everything. That's what I do, especially when you get somebody who's been doing the same thing for 20 years after they became an adult. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, and I tell women, well, let me say it like this. What I'm going to advise my daughters is to marry older men who are already established, because that's less likely that they'll be coming back to me. You see what I'm saying? No, it sounds selfish. I want them to marry older men who already have their own stuff. That struggle love, that's some black people stuff. That's black folk love, struggle love. He 19, your ass is 21. Y'all get together and all you do is fight every day. Police coming to your house 3 nights a month. You see what I mean? Because what? Y'all fight and make babies. Y'all, that's your makeup. That's some dysfunctional young people stuff. Leave these young dudes alone. They are not ready for it. They still go home and sleep in their mama's bed. You know that? At 19, 20, 21 years old. You know that? That's what they're doing. Leave them alone. Let them grow up. Stop picking them so young. Let them grow up and be men. A lot of these women don't want to deal with men like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with that. I'm going to put some rules and regulations down on them. Have your ass in the house before dark. I don't want to hear nothing about no girls trips, no hanging out at night. Let me find out you going on to the restaurant with the ladies. I'll be sitting over in the other goddamn corner watching you with what you doing. You understand what I'm saying? It's not gonna be all of that. It's gonna be some rules and regulations. You want to be my wife? That's one thing. You want to be just some tramp I'm dealing with? You free. You like one of them dogs out in the street with the little breast hanging and all the other dogs running up behind you. You free meat for everybody. As we say in the law, you an easement. You belong to everybody. You're not mine. You see what I'm saying? But there's some rules and regulations, and a lot of men aren't manly. They're not masculine enough, and they don't have enough accomplishments and money and finance to say, this is how it's going to be. If you don't like it, fine. When I first met my fiance, I said, look, baby, this train is headed that way. Okay, you got a first class seat on this train that's headed that way. If you want to go that way, you need to go on another train. This train is headed that way. That's where we're going. And the minute you get tired of getting I'm going to stop the train. You can get off the train. But we are not going to change directions for you. We're headed that way. That's the type of man you have to be in this world. And you have to be upfront with these women and let them know and make sure you pick good stock. You can't do that if you got a manly, masculine woman who needs to be handled every time you come on like she's a wild Shetland pony or something like that, fresh off the Irish countryside. You can't do that. But go ahead, sister. Go ahead. Praise God. Praise Moses. Let's hear it. Uh-oh, I lost.
No, you're good. I do want to acknowledge a Crimson Care in the building. It's always so good.
Yeah, Crimson Care.
Crimson Care. So thank you for saying there's a financial aspect, Uncle D. There may be a misunderstanding that a lioness shouldn't need or expect any financial stability.
Yeah.
Appreciate the love and the support.
The damn sure make sure the man got some money, ladies. Don't be a fool. Don't be a damn fool. Only a fool is marrying a man with nothing that can support her. You're just an idiot. Now you're just giving up your little coochie for nothing. Okay, that's what you're doing. You're wasting your time. You're going to dibble-dabble in your watercolors. And if you gave it to him for free, he's not going to value it. That you should make a man honor you enough that he has to sacrifice, not just with these little funky words. Because as you read, look, I pride myself in not having game. You know that I pride myself and say, you know what? I have infrastructure. I'm going to tell you exactly how it is. We're going to lay it out just like that. If you like it, fine. Now, you know, I can talk, you know, baby, you know, I can, if I need to, but I don't like that. I detest men who run game on women. Let me tell you, I detest men who are more about, who are not substantive. You understand? Like those type of men, and Kevin was the same way. He did not like men who play games with women. Remember, he had a daughter. He had a mother that he loved who men ran game on. He loved these black women in his life. I don't like men who have game. Anytime I see these game, I don't like that. You're less than men to me. You out here lying to women and making them playing with their emotions. That's bullshit. You know, you need your ass stomped out. That's why there's brothers and fathers who check these men early on and say, you know, are you about game? Are you about because see, game doesn't pay the bills. All you can do is lay with this woman. What are you gonna do after that? You got her emotionally wrapped up into you, but with your game and all this stuff, and you're nothing. You're less than a man to me. So I don't do game. I speak honest to people. This is how it's gonna be. If I determine that I don't want to be in a relationship with a woman, I tell them early on. That's why you don't have people out here coming out at Uncle D talking about he did this to me, because I don't have that track record. I don't. Ain't no broken windows and scratched up cars and flat tires in my past, because I don't play like that. I'm really like this in real life.
Yeah.
So you know, but that's it. Yeah, but yeah, just be men of substance. Yeah, you got to pay bills. That's what being a man is about. And see, the thing is, fellas, when you pay the bills, you call the shots. That's what it's about. I'm not going 50-50, because when I tell you this house is a little dirty, it needs to be clean, you need to call the maid to do it yourself. I'm ready to eat. Oh, I don't want to eat. Leave me alone. Then you really don't have no choice but to go ahead and do what I say do. And not that I'm being unreasonable, but being a man is authority comes with that. But it costs, as the old saying goes, it pays. You got to pay the cost to be the boss.
Yeah.
I don't mind doing that. And a lot of men in South America, Central America, and these other countries, they understand that. See, a lot of these do, and I'm cut me off if I'm getting long-winded, because you know I can ramble on for hours.
You know, I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener.
But a lot of these men, you're going down there getting submissive women, Okay, but those submissive, cooperative, fit, feminine women, they have expectations, i.e., that you're going to be the man. When I was dating the lady in the DR, I always had to have some money. You see what I mean? Why? Because she needed to go get some plantains or some bread or some juice. It was she wasn't coming out of her pocket for. You were what? No, sir. No, señora. Yo no tengo dinero para ti, papi. Te necesito dinero a ti. You know. So my thing is, being a traditional man, you got to pay all the bills. I mean, I get it. Sometimes there's little stuff she pay, like a cell phone or whatnot. But for the most part, you need to be a man about it and pay all the bills. That's what makes you the prize. You paying all the goddamn bills. You see what I mean? Not because you got game and you cute and you dress nice. No, you be a man and you take care of business and you run the infrastructure and everything else falls in line. Go ahead.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, I mean, I think most women, this is just my opinion. I think the natural course of a woman is to really want to submit and to want because it's like women want to feel safe and secure. I think a lot of the times there's fear behind this idea of submission, right? Is because there's this assumption that, okay, to submit to somebody means that you're going to be abused, you're going to be mistreated, you're not going to be taken care of well. And again, to me, this always goes back to, if you're a woman and you are submitting to a Pookie, for lack of a better term, or you're submitting to a dude that don't have nothing going for him and he doesn't have vision in his life and he's chaotic, you're going to be abused. But if you are with a man, you are in a covenant relationship, then submitting that's a very natural thing, and it's actually a very safe thing. Right. So I think it was Security Boss I was talking to yesterday, and I asked her about submission. She's been married over 20 years, and the first thing that she said is, "Oh, submission to me, it's freedom." She's like, "When I think of submission, I think of freedom." And then she went on to explain why, and I was like, "Wow, that's really powerful. You don't really hear that." But she's been married to her husband for years. They're both God fearing. She respects him. She respects her. Like it's an exchange. So what you described to me seems quite natural. If you're a woman and you love your husband and he is hungry, of course you want to feed him. You want to make him feel loved. You want the place to feel like home. That it's something that gives you joy to do. So I think when you're operating under that, then it's not seen as like some heavy burden, like you're a slave. Right. It's like, of course I want this. Of course I want this house to be like a home for you.
Right.
So,
there's a couple of things in there I want to point out, because you gave it's hard to make a woman submit or be submissive to a masculine man when she's masculine. That's number one. The second thing I wanted to kind of point out is that, I've been practicing jujitsu going on a couple of years, and I've been watching my sons practice since 2015. So I've had an opportunity to study it. Now, jujitsu was started by a gentleman named Gracie down in Brazil. And Brazil has a large African population, big, strong Africans walking around, super strong. And this little short European man had to deal with them man to man. So he figured out an art form, a martial art, where a smaller, less physically fit, less strong, a man who's basically physically inferior to these physically superior men can beat them in a one-on-one fight.
Oh, wow.
And so the thing is not, of course, he's not using brute force to do it. He's using this and a certain skill set, a skill set that has taught him how to win from a submissive position.
Yeah.
Okay. Not only, now let me tell you something. We've heard of boxing, we've heard of MMA, we've heard of wrestling, we've heard of karate, all these deadly arts. At the top of that pyramid in a one-on-one fight is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie or BBJ. And the reason is because it doesn't matter how big you are, doesn't matter how strong you are. Eventually, you will be submitted. They can grab your hand, they can make you quit, they can grab your fingers, they can grab your ankles, they can grab your knees. They would tear your shoulder out of place if you don't quit. This is a person who may be 160 pounds. And like myself, I'm 6'5", almost 300 pounds, lost 12 pounds. I'm happy about that. I've been feeling good. But at about 280 something pounds, I've had to fight people who are much smaller. They grab your hand, it's a wrap. They'll tear your arm off. Women have got to learn the art of being a woman, and that is how to win from a submissive position. Feminism has freed men from all those obligations. Traditional women always win. That's why 60% of the wealth in this country, in the United States, is possessed by women, because they're traditional women and they waited and they learned how to win from a submissive position. What does that mean? That means be accommodating. That means become so helpful as a helpmate to your husband that he can't do without you. What do I do? What I just gave you an example. My fiance, she ran here. I didn't ask her to do it. She designed the t-shirts. You see what I mean? I didn't ask her to do it. She ran here fixing stuff on the computer. Like I said, I could barely see. You see what I'm saying? So she brings me breakfast. If I'm upstairs in bed, she brings me breakfast in bed. I mean, not once a day. I mean, not once a week. Damn near every day. For the first year or so we were dating, it was every day. Bring my coffee. You see what I'm saying? I get 3 meals a day when she wasn't over at the law school. But she's become so integral to my life. I can, even my sons, who are themselves a very hostile young men, Daddy, you'd be stupid if you left her, Daddy. You'd be stupid. That'd be stupid. That's what my children who love me to death. And so because she's not only has she made me submit, but she's made these manly ass little boys that I got submit too, through food and service. She ain't going nowhere. If I die now, I don't want to talk about all my financial bit. So I got life insurance policies, right? Because if my ass died from a heart attack like the rest of these brothers out here, all of them rich. You understand? And her too. You see what I'm saying? This is what a man does when he becomes beholden to you, when you make him submit. See, women think, oh, I'm submitting. No, you're making him submit. Because the minute I can put hands on you, I can start doing what? Making you submit. That's what jujitsu is about. And that is part and parcel the art of being a woman, the art of femininity. Femininity allows you to get up on a masculine man. You see, femininity allows you to close ranks and surround him like a serpent. And now you got him. Now you got your own little utility, paying all your bills. All you got to do is just ride it out. The thing is, you want to pick a good one, you know. But I know I didn't went on again.
It's okay. Well, I do want to acknowledge some of these super chats I saw come through. Shout out to Brandon, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. Ooh, wrong one. Class. Okay, so the key to submission is trust. The key to gaining trust is the ability to learn and teach. If you teach a woman something, you got her. That is the key. Shout out to you. I think that's I completely agree with that. Another one says, what happens if you hit a rough patch and she has to pay the bills? Dennis makes the same mistake Kevin Samuels made. You can put a money value on everything. What's your thought to that?
If I hit a rough patch and pay the bills, and that's my poor judgment, I'm not going to hit a rough patch because I've been doing this for 20 years. Understand what I'm saying? Like, I've been making $1 million a year since 2014. I'm not going to hit a rough patch. See that, again, this train is going that way. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the security. See, this is why women, you should make better decisions. See, my fiance studied Kevin Samuels. She was a student of Kevin Samuels. Okay. She learned what he had to teach as a young woman. You understand what I'm saying? And so she realized what a man of substance is with a track record versus a man who's just talking. All them flashy cars and Lamborghinis, most of them are rented. All your favorite rappers and artists, they don't have it like that. You see what I'm saying? But a trial lawyer who's been practicing law going on 25 years, who has a good reputation, sound foundation, I mean, I could get sick and die, but who won't? You see what I mean? I mean, we're all gonna do that, but the bottom line is, this is why you do that. You get good, hardworking men who have a track record. This is how that happens. Earthquakes happen, hurricanes happen. I don't see, what a rough patch would be. What is a rough patch? I did something stupid. I start gambling all of a sudden and hanging out and smoking drugs. That's just stupidity. That's going to wash out in your 20s and 30s. You see what I'm saying? So, but again, there's no guarantees, but that's a lot of what ifs for a freight train headed this way at 100 miles an hour. This is what I do. And there are other men out there who are like me who have proved themselves already. And for the most part, like I said, there's no guarantees, but if this is what you do, this is what you do. And you're not going to stop doing it just because somebody else gets on the train. But go ahead.
No, that makes sense. Shout out to you, Graham Jemer, with the $9.99 on the super sticker, and I see 2 $9.99s. Thank you so much. You're so generous. MS Delta guy, good to see you. It says my mom at 24 married my dad at 40. She said the smartest decision she ever made. Pan-Africanism Strikes Back with another 2. It says that's because that struggle sex be spectacular. I think he's referring to when you were saying how these women are paying for these Pookies who laid up on their couch, buying them a PS.
Yeah, I know, but you know, the thing is, I mean, all of us grown-ups, like I've had a lot of women in my life, you know, and beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. And the thing is, okay, now what? You know, after that 3.5, 4 minutes is over, now what? We can rinse, wash, repeat. But do I really want to be around you for the rest of my life? You know, like, so it's really very hollow. And I'm speaking as a man. Sex is only one aspect of a relationship. It's not, it makes you, it bonds you, you become closer. But what we do, we put a lot of emphasis in the Black community on these tangible things, what kind of purse you have, what kind of car you have, you know, what she looks like. So we put a lot of emphasis on that. But at the end of the day, it's about 2 human beings coming together and joining together for some sort of purpose bigger than just, you know, making the bed squeak 2 or 3 times a week. I don't, that's very shallow to me. You see what I mean? Like that's young people stuff. Like there's empires I would like to build. You know, there are things I would like to do, stuff of more substance and unique. But you know, to each his own. Is that what you like? That's what gets you off. This will get you out, man. That's cool.
Yeah, it looks like here's another call. Every man isn't 100% financially stable, but so he can't get married. It sounds like you
can't get married if you're not financially stable. No, you should not get married if you're not financially stable, because that woman who wants to have children should not be brought in to that instability. When women are unstable, guess what happens? They don't have their menstrual cycles on a normal basis. You and the relationship suffer. There's a lack of confidence. So no, you shouldn't do that. As a matter of fact, not just financially stable, if you're emotionally unstable, if you are, you know, about to be sick to the point where you're going to die, any instability, leave that woman for somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? Like, no, as a man, you need to be the mountain in that family. You need to be the backbone of that household. And so a lot of men, see, here's the thing. Everybody thinks they're entitled to get married. You're not. Not everybody's marriage material. Not all men are marriage material, and not all women are marriage material. Marriage is for a special select group of people. You're not entitled. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. That's what I'm saying. And a lot of guys have to realize, and I talk to them on this page, on my page, you're just not marriage material. You just want to mess around forever. Cool, baby, do that. And have a blast. You understand what I'm saying? But don't come dragging some woman into that foolishness you got. Same thing for some of these women. You got 4 or 5 different kids by 4 or 5 different baby daddies. You're probably not marriage material. That's what I'm saying. You might get married, but the type of wife you're gonna make, that's not good for anybody. But go ahead, sister.
No, that's an interesting perspective. No, I do believe the couple that did our premarital counseling, they kind of, him in particular, he kind of grew up very similar to you. Grew up in East Oakland, saw a lot of death, saw a lot of hard things, and so he's now a pastor and has changed his life. Wow. But he's just very. He would also not be the nice guy. And he was.
I've seen too much death. I've seen too many dead bodies, too many crackheads. I grew up in a house who was gambling and gangsterism going on. I remember my Uncle Bernie, who wasn't my real uncle. He had just got out of prison. I was 16 years old. He's sitting in there in the kitchen making some sort of breakfast, some sort of the prison shit. And he was telling me about how he just got out of jail. He'd been in there 17 years.
Wow.
Casual as we talking right now. Yeah, man, I shot up the homecoming court up at Jefferson High School. Here's some eggs. Yeah, I shot a couple of girls, a couple of dudes. So these are the people I grew up around. So the reason that I'm very no nonsense is like, cause see, I don't live in a fictitious world. Like, I'm not gonna give you bullshit advice. If your ass is no good, you a scoundrel, you ain't got no money, you got mental issues, don't bring somebody else into your life. Yeah. See, a lot of people are speaking theoretically. See, I know what happens when families get destroyed. I grew up in it. You see what I'm saying? I lived right down the street from my homeboys who I used to hang out with. At some point, my Uncle Slim and his homeboys got into it with them, and I couldn't hang out with my friends no more. And we live right down the street. When I mean got into it, I mean they're shooting up their houses with AK-47. So you know, this is the reality I had to deal with at 8, 9, 10 years old. People coming home, fighting with each other, knives being pulled, the police coming over to my house at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I still got to get up and go to school and act like, you know, nothing happened.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So my reality is a lot different. Life is short. I grew up in a generation we didn't expect to live past 26 years old. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people are like, damn, Dennis, you strong as hell. Like, because, you know, I don't know if you understand weights, but I can bench press 225 pounds like 24 times in a row. You know, I could bench press like 460 pounds. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the things you guys don't understand is growing up in South Central LA, it was a gang culture, but it was also a prison culture. So lifting weights was one of those things that just was something you did because the homies that got out of prison, they lifted weights. And on top of that, just in case you went to the juvie or just in case you went to the prison, you needed to be strong because it's gladiator school. And so this is the environment. We were prepared for death. So my reality is a lot different than a lot of other men that you're dealing with because I grew up in a very unique time in a very unique place, South Central Los Angeles, that Compton, Watts area. It's just, and so I'm an enigma to a lot of these folks, and especially considering now that I'm a lawyer and you're like, oh, he looks, man, silver spoon in his mouth. Not at all. You know what I mean? So I'm just happy to be here, you know? But my thing is, before I go any further, I want to say this. I really appreciate women like yourself, you know, and I'm gonna say this to everybody. We need more women like Shay, and we need more women like the other young ladies out there. Like I believe I always mess her name up, but I know her nickname is Crimson Cure, and I don't know if it's Kendra D or Kendra G, but we need more women like that. And what men like me do is we provide cover for them. We need to keep those women, those good women, and protect them. And we need to make sure that they are uplifted. And these scallywags over here, we need to down them. And women need to recognize that let me be over here with the good ladies, because the good ladies are getting the time, attention, and protection from the men, and these scallywags are getting dogged out. And so that's my job. And I'm not, and it's important for you ladies and all you ladies who are listening here to make sure you separate yourself from these rotten ass skanks that are making all of y'all look bad, because they're bringing heat down on all of the black women, because all of y'all got that label. Just like there's some Pookies and Ray Rays that make me look bad. When the police see me, you see what I'm saying? They don't see a lawyer, a father, a businessman. They see a potential threat because of what the media tells. So y'all make sure y'all separate yourself from them so we'll know the difference, so y'all don't get caught up in the wash. I just want to say that, but yeah, it may take over.
No, that's. I mean, that's why
Kendra D.
Yeah, yes. Kendra D. Yeah, and that's why, you know, I have these conversations, and I'm trying to bring on different women to talk about actually, right, being at home, being a wife, you know, living a productive life, because I feel like I think about all the time, like especially young girls, next generation, like it wouldn't be fair for them to be branded because my generation couldn't stop twerking online on babies. That's a whole nother video I got coming of a woman who was twerking on a baby. Like, what are you doing? And it's like, it is unfair to those young girls because just for that loud, just toxic minority, I don't want to say minority, but just that group that it's just like they feed off of negative attention, and it's making us all look bad. And it's like, I don't identify with that. So even if I'm called all kinds of pick-me's and mammies and mules or whatever, I'm like, look, somebody needs to know that there's an alternative to this Thotiana Theophil culture. Like, if you don't want to do that, and if you don't want to be shamed for not doing that, then you can come over here and hang out. Okay. Yeah. So, but I do want to get through some of the other super chats.
I'm sorry.
Okay. No,
Yeah,
it's all good. Shout out to you.
day. Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to you, Miss MS Delta guy with the 50. Very
That's,
generous.
yeah, that's MS Delta guy, man. He's one of my guys, man.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
That go the money. That go the money.
We got some good. We got some good ones.
Yeah,
Shout out to Randall with the 5. I think I got the Crimson Cure there, and then I got a few new ones when you was going on another Uncle D Unfiltered. It says married Black woman here exposing the sisterhood of failure in my own way. Shout out to you with the 5. Is that? But I think it's Bashua. Please let me know if I butchered that name. Thank you so much. CR. It says, Uncle D, hope you don't hang up your channel really soon. You're doing fabulous work, and we love you. It says, dang C. Let's keep it correct. It's Kendra D, aka the Crimson Cure. We got it. Brandon with something else to say. It says, I think there should be a 10-year minimum marriage requirement before giving marital advice. There is simply no proof of concept. 15 years in the paint. So I know Brandon has some strong things to say about people giving marriage advice. I get it.
I don't give marriage advice. I give you divorce advice though, and I tell you what causes a divorce. Okay. Some people get married when they shouldn't. That's what causes a divorce. You broke, crazy. That's what I'm telling you. I don't know the gentleman, but yeah, I'm just saying. You could be married, but you married to one person. On top of that, if you've been married, I don't know how long has this man been married? 20, 30 years.
15 years.
It's a whole different world out here. You're not qualified to give marriage advice anymore. You're not dealing with the kind of women that these young men are dealing with. So you don't even understand what's out, or you shouldn't, unless you've been dibbling and dabbling and hanging out in the streets. But you don't know what they're dealing with. So you're not prepared to talk to them about these manly, masculine, glorilla women that they're having to deal with, period. And on top of that, if you've only lived in the United States, and you're not qualified to talk about the women in other countries. And that's what these people are doing. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. So many. What is it? I can't read all that. What is it?
So money isn't the key to keeping marriages together.
Money is key. Okay, sir. Let's stop running away from the financial obligation. If you marry my daughter, I want you to have some money and some wealth and some things that are tangible. Okay, you cannot do that. I don't know where people get this idea from. Look, you have got to be able to provide for your wife and a family. I don't get that. Why did Black men think they can get away cheap? One of the reasons that we get the most least respect of all men on this planet is because a lot of us got this pimp philosophy that popped up in the 1960s and 70s, which tells you can con some vagina out of a woman. I really don't like men who don't act manly. Look, be a man. Run it. Go ahead and deal with that burden. If you want to be a man, everybody can be a male, but it takes tasks and accomplishments to be a man. Yeah, people get divorced. Broke people get divorced. Sick people get divorced. That happens. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that you're a man and you did everything you were supposed to do as a man. You protected your family. You provided for your family. You didn't come up short. You held up your end of the bargain. If that ratchet ass broad doesn't hold her up, that's between her and her God. This is what I'm trying to say. You be a man no matter what. Because let me tell you something. Wives are made from birth. You understand what I'm saying? You marry a woman who's already a wife. You marry a man who's already a husband. In other words, he was a man. He was already who he was, and then y'all came together and made a marriage. I don't want to hear that punk ass bitch ass, excuse me. I don't want to hear that. I mean, it's annoying to me when I spend all day and all night defending Black men specifically. And when I get Black men talking about this subpar behavior of you don't need money to be married. What kind of bullshit is that? You ain't got to pay for daycare. You don't have to pay for food. You're going to put that off on your woman. You're going to have her out there with gray hairs coming out of her hair, fighting traffic, coming home every goddamn day. What kind of man are you? Nobody is going to look at you with any respect if you've come up short in that regard. Now, it's one thing if you got a bunch of women who are not marriage material, but the minute you got brothers going overseas, getting these women coming back. Now, what you telling her that she got to come to this country and work like a horse? Is that what you telling her? Because you need her to pay half? What kind of man are you? Stop. See, Everybody shouldn't be married. And just because people are married don't mean that they're good husbands or good wives. You understand what I'm talking about? If you as a man have certain obligations that you should do, certain obligations you fulfill, the woman has certain obligations that she fulfill. This is not about feeling. You see what I'm saying? It's about you doing what you have to do, irrespective of what everybody else is doing, period. And we should end that conversation. I don't get it. Don't y'all read the Bible? You see what I'm saying?
I can say this. I've had the opportunity to have relationships with many different people from all different walks of life. Yeah. And I know a woman who have been in scenarios where either the husband refuses to work for whatever reason, or is just can't keep a stable job. And just from what I've observed, the level of stress and instability that puts on the kids, on the wife, on the whole system, it's really hard to watch. It's really hard to watch, especially in situations where it's like the man, he refuses to work. It's not just like, oh, that's
not a man. That's not a man, that's a male. You understand what I'm saying? If he refuses to work because he can't, that's one thing. He's sick, that's one thing.
Yeah, that's one thing.
But if that's just a lazy man. You understand what I'm saying? Like, look, I hold men. See, if I was an advocate for women, men would hate me. But I'm an advocate for men. You know what I'm saying? But I see the BS. I see it. You got a lot of dudes out there who got this pimp mentality, and they think they can just pimp their way through life and they can spit this hot game. But those are not men of substance. You see what I mean? And I want you ladies to begin to pick men of substance, men of quality, not because he's handsome, not because you like the cologne he wears. Not because you like the way he walks. Let me get some more. Well, come on, give me the rest of them. You like the way he
I always say six pack, six figures.
Like you. I mean, I get that. That's physical fitness is important, but I'm just saying some of these superficial things like what's the word? Swag. I like his swag. Swag don't pay the guy.
Well, it's it's a real thing. I interviewed a good friend of mine, or I look at her like a friend, although she's like 30 years older than me. She's an older housewife. Okay. And I interviewed her a couple of months ago, and we got in the conversation to talk some femininity. She was just basically like, at the end of the day, we just have to be honest. There's a lot of women who we just don't like the good guy because they're boring. Yeah. She went on to tell a story when she was young of this man who just loved and doted all over her. He was in college at the time, just on the track of just being a really successful, I think doctor or something. And he wanted to marry her. He did everything for her. And she was just like, I just was bored. She's like,
he needed a passport. She's a fool and he needed a passport.
Right. You know now she ended up marrying somebody else later on.
Good for her. God bless her. We wish her well. Again, I tell you young men, don't even think about getting in a serious relationship until you're in your 30, 35, over 35, or late 30s, early 40s. That's when live your life. If you in your 20s, you're too goddamn young to get married. It takes about 20 years to go from one financial level to another. So if you grew up in poverty, it takes about 20 years to work your way to middle class. If you grew up middle class, it takes about 20 years to work your way to the upper middle class or whatever. So just take your time. It's no rush, fellas. Stop trying to marry these women off, goddamn 20-some years old. Cut that out. Just go out there and have a good time, enjoy life, build yourself up, become the man you're supposed to be. You see what I mean? But yeah, boredom, women say a lot of crazy stuff. I don't pay attention to women like that. Like, okay, yeah, all right, well, God bless you. That's what you don't like, fine.
Well, no, she was being honest, and then she wanted to say, she came from she had a rather toxic background. So at the time, she was
a toxic background. Oh, yeah.
And that's kind of how we ended up on the conversation. She was like, I was incredibly unhealthy, and so I didn't know how to handle a good man because I was used to being abused and all kind of different stuff, and so unless that was happening to me, then it was unfamiliar. So that's kind of how we got in that conversation. But no, there's a lot there. So okay, I did see a few more questions, super chats, all the like. Bashua with the 5, it says my husband pays the bills and mortgage, leads, provides, protects. I cook, clean. That's simple. Yeah. I see nothing.
She exchanges her. Right. She exchanges her youth, beauty, fertility for his protection and provision. It's the old social contract.
It's been like that.
The problem that we have is a social contract, which we call, well, we're in a mediation right now. We're renegotiating this social contract between men and women because feminism came in and the government came in the 1960s and 70s, or the 1960s, and told women, hey, look, you don't need to go with that old social contract. We'll be your protector and provider. You see? And so what ended up happening was women said, especially Black American women said, well, yeah, I'll just go over here and get these government subsidies. I'll get these this affirmative action.
Right.
I'll get all these different, and hell with that man. I don't want to be under his control anyway. So this is what happened. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now we're in a situation 55 years later, men have finally believed, okay, we got you, you know, so you don't want to be involved in the social contract. Okay, well, you know what? Damn, I actually like this freedom that I'm getting.
Yeah.
I'm not obligated to take care of this woman anymore. I don't have to go to work from 9 to 5 and work some bullshit job that I don't like for the next 10, 20 years to put her and these ugly kids through college. Oh man, you mean I can hop on the plane and go anywhere I want to in the world? I'm not. So the social contract was initially breached by women. They talked bad about men for about 55 years. Over the past 10 years, men have done what? Men have said, okay, well, we're going to start doing our own thing. We believe you, especially this new generation. Because see, this new generation has no racial loyalty. Generation X, the baby boomers, the Black folks that came before that, they had this, you know, fight the power. We love, we gonna stay together no matter what. But this new generation, they like, oh no, I'm gonna go get me whatever's nice to me. And so now men are exercising their options. Because remember, ladies, you breached the social contract first. You walked away from the table. You took a better deal, i.e. the government. Here we are 55 years later, and men are saying, well, you know, I got a better deal over here. So you can't be mad at that if they want to execute a social contract with women who are willing to do the same thing that you no longer refuse to do. I don't necessarily call this a war of the sexes. It's simply a renegotiation of the social contract. It's the back and forth, which was one-sided for 55 years. But since the rise of social media, now men have had an opportunity to air out their grievances. And that's when it became a conflict, because women had Black women, American women specifically, had never been held to task for their bad behavior. And that's what you see happening right now, by my estimation. But go ahead.
No, that makes sense. MS Delta Guy says, as income increases, the divorce rate decreases. Money matters.
Yeah, that's what the stats say. The more money you have, the higher your class, the less of the divorce rate. Less of the DV rate too. It's poor young people beating each other up at the house in them 1-bedroom apartments, sleeping on them air mattresses. That's beating people up.
And that, because I did a deep dive on DV a while back, and it was across all races. It said it didn't matter your race. If you were under stressful economic situations, you saw rates of violence that were consistent across the board, rates of DV, obviously, rates of of just abuse, period, under really harsh economic.
If you put animals in the cage and you deprive them of resources, they're gonna fight. And that's what happens. And so that's why I tell you guys, one of the most important things you can do as a man, if you want to keep peace in your household, be a provider, pay for all the goddamn bills, pay for every goddamn thing. Any smart, intelligent man who's been married 50, 60 years, they'll tell you, I paid all the goddamn bills. She ain't had nothing else to say. You see what I mean? Now you got to get a woman who appreciates that, because there's some damn fools out there. No matter what you do for them, their desires and needs are like a endless pit. You see, you can never make them happy because they're not happy with themselves. You don't need a woman like that. You need a woman who knows how to fulfill her role. You fulfill your role. And there it is. There are women around the world and men around the world who are raised to be wives and husbands. Black American women and American women in general, you're competing with those women who have raised to be wives. This is their primary profession. That job they got is not. You know, you got men who will know, hey, I got some Hispanic homeboys. They'll tell you. That's what we do. We get up, we go to work, we work together. We might bitch and complain about our jobs. But the bottom line is we're raised to be husbands. We're raised to be providers. And that's it. That's how you keep a community. Because when you have strong families, you got strong community, strong nation. Strong nation, strong country. And so the family is the key. But it all requires people knowing their role as in the family unit.
And embracing it. knowing it and embracing it. Yeah, no, I could not agree more.
Yeah, I like being the boss. I like paying all the bills. I do. I like it. I like being a man. All I ever wanted to be was a father and a good man and a good friend. That's all I've ever wanted to be. The lawyer thing, all that stuff. No, all I've ever wanted to be was a good man and a good father. Period. Some of the atrocities I see happening to the Black community, I recognize, and we mentioned this earlier. If I don't do something about it, my sons are going to inherit this burden, this negativity associated with being Black men. So that's why, I fight so vigorously for the reputation of Black men, which is why, that's my primary motivation. I don't want them to be, oh, they're deadbeat dads. This is as soon as they turn 18, deadbeat daddy, thug, criminal. I don't want that for my kids. And that's why I go so hard and do so much for Black men. And you don't necessarily hear me disparaging the reputation of Black men. And I'm always stepping up to protect us, Black men specifically, when people say horrible things about us on television and media.
Yeah, no, and we need more of that, because to your point, until there's a situation where we can control our own media and have our own outlets, then you're going to have to continue to essentially be damage control.
Yeah.
And then also, I think it's just important to, when you have strong families and strong communities, hopefully that's where you're getting your sense of self, you're getting your training, you're getting your teaching, you're getting your values. So when you go and you see some trash online, it doesn't completely radicalize how you see yourself and how you see other people. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they're not coming with that. So what's really programming them and what's telling them their value is what they're seeing online or in social media or television. That's a very dangerous place to be.
Yeah, it is. It is. And unfortunately, some people don't know real Black people. They just know people that they see on TV. Or back then it was TV, now it's the internet. So they're basing their perception on Blackness or Black Americans based on that. Even our own African brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, they base their opinions of Black Americans on what they see online. And
which is not good.
Which is not good.
So, okay, so MS Delta guy says, facts money is key to marriage. Stop with the struggle of the
struggle love.
Now I think we got another rebuttal. It says DS is saying money is going to make your marriage successful. Then why do rich people get divorced? She would just take half your stuff in the end. I mean, I think you alluded to that already, that you said as it's not that people don't get divorced. It's just the higher earners, as the higher class, more money, than the divorce rate tends to go down.
Is the brother saying poor people don't get divorced?
No, it sounded like he was saying.
Let's break this down. DS is saying money is going to make your marriage successful. Is being poor going to make your marriage successful? No. He said, why do rich people get divorced? Why do poor people get divorced? Is she going to take half your stuff if you poor? Yeah. It's the same result, whether you're rich or whether you're poor. My thing to you men is, do what you're supposed to do as a man, irrespective of what that woman does. See, I don't think this is I'm going to be a man if she's a woman. That's if you dig down deep into what this fella is saying here, I'm not going to be a man unless she's a woman. No, I'm telling you men to be fucking men no matter what. Hell or high water, you be a man. You stand in the cut and you do what men are supposed to do. As a man, you are a protector and a provider. As a husband, you are a protector and a provider. It don't matter what she does, because I'm more concerned about your integrity. I'm more concerned about your character and who you are and what you will stand for and what you won't stand for. My manhood is not conditional. Whoever this statement is basically saying, well, I don't, money don't make you make. What would you say? Not having money makes you more successful? What is it, brother? I mean, and I don't know if this is a Black man. I don't know who this is, but
that's a Black man. I've had him on before.
Well then God bless him. But clearly, being poor is not going to help you have a successful marriage, right? Clearly, poor people get divorced all the goddamn time, right? Clearly, that happens. So it doesn't matter if you're rich or you poor. I'm asking you to be men. And see, there's not a lot of men out there asking Black men to be men no matter what. And that's what I'm asking. See, that's a pimp mentality right there. See, that's a slick talking pimp mentality right there. And that's not what I do. I want traditional, wholesome values that are sustainable over centuries and decades. Men are supposed to be men. Women are supposed to be men. Let's get back to being in those traditional roles because that's what worked. Who has a problem with that?
I see no problem with that because what's happening right now obviously isn't working.
No, it ain't working. Nobody's fulfilling their roles anymore. Everybody's out of pocket. And nobody's staying in their lane. That's why everybody's getting hit. We having these accidents. And it's happening over and over again. Men have to be men. Women have to be women. Those men who don't want to be men, you don't need to get married. Those women who don't want to be women, you don't need to get married. Let these other folks pair off and go about their business. I don't want no broke, busted, weak man marrying my daughter if I had one. You understand what I'm saying? If I had a son, somebody said Nigerian men agree with this.
No, the first time I heard that, actually, the first time I heard men should be men and women should be women.
Yeah, you know, let me tell you something. One day I might have a daughter. One day I might have a daughter. And I'm gonna fuck him up just like I do my own sons. Some of the shit some of these men, some of these grown men out here would be crying if they had to do everything that my 13 and 15-year-old have had to do in life dealing with me. They got to get up. They got to go get kicked in the stomach 3 days a week. They got to go wrestle grown-ups another 3 days a week. They got to lift weights. They got obligations they have to fill. I put pressure on them to be excellent. A lot of men would fold because that's the type of pressure I put upon myself. That's how I was able to fight my way to where I am now. And it wasn't easy, but this is how men are made. See, I don't leave anything to chance and happenstance. I'll be damned if I allow my daughter to marry some man who's weak. You got to be mentally tough, physically tough, spiritually sound, emotionally tough. These are the type of men that I want around me, and that's why I'm raising them to be this way. And these are the type of men that I would expect my daughter to want. So some of this weakness, oh, I don't have to pay half the bills. Oh, we don't have to be rich. Fuck you. You sound like excuse my language. I know it's not my show. But I'm just saying, nah, man, hell no. You gonna let your daughter marry some broke dude that's talking about, you get your fucking money, man. You understand what I'm saying? Be a man. Like, it's not that hard. Be a fucking man. You know, that's what I want you fellas to do, especially you black dudes. We got a horrible reputation now. Be men. That's what I want y'all to do, man. And it's not hard. See, like, this is, you know, woo! I don't know if I'm supposed to be cursing on your page or not, but I'm just saying, I
appreciate you trying to hold it back. I do.
I don't know. I don't even understand why this is a question amongst men. I don't understand.
I don't know. I won't. You know, it could be, and I don't know if it's because the economy's been tough for a lot of different people. Recession.
It don't matter. It don't matter. It does not matter. I told my sons the other day, I'll go back to cutting grass like I did when I was 14 or 15 if I had to. You're a man. See, I don't accept excuses for myself. Why would I accept them from any other grown-ass man? You understand? I told you today, I pulled a muscle in my back. My ass has been in pain. You know what I did as therapy? I took my ass and ran 2 miles and did a full boxing workout before I came here. You understand what I'm saying? You're men. You have to be men. Stop being vaginas. Okay? Stop doing that. I don't want to hear this conversation.
Tone it down.
I don't like the dudes on your page. I don't like them. I don't like these dudes on your page, man. You talking too nice to them because hell no, man. You be a man. You be a man. And I want black men to be able to sit at the table with the rest of the men in the world and say, we hold it down just like you guys, if not better. We're men. Just because you're a male doesn't mean you're a man. You don't accept like that. You got people coming to this country who can't goddamn speak English, and they out here cutting grass and making money, and we complaining. We complaining we can't get no. It don't matter. You're a man. Feed your family. You take that obligation to be a whatever, a provider. You be a man and do what you got to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ooh, you done ran my blood pressure up over here. Praise God. Lord, oh Lord Jesus. Yeah.
Amen. That's right.
Amen. Praise Lord.
Okay, so I got a few more I was trying to get through and then move on to the next, but they keep on coming in. Says, okay, great conversation, Shay and Brother D. Shout out to you, Dexter Matthews, with the $19.99. I appreciate it. Okay, so where was racial loyalty when black men were talked down and told they ain't ish by black women for years?
Yeah.
Well,
where was it?
That's actually the point that I had made in one of my previous videos, going back to the whole pushback against the passport conversation, because it's like you have a lot of women who were talking about, y'all don't need to go here and talk bad about us. You have to basically stay on code or whatever. And I'm like, well, that hasn't happened for the last 50 years. And I call cap, because if that was the case, then you would be just as upset when you had black women going out there talking about black men can't even die, right? And abort all black male babies.
Yeah,
so let's just be consistent.
The thing is, but sister, I didn't mean to cut you. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. You never know a person who they really are until they think they don't need you anymore. Then they show their whole, complete, and entire backside. You see what I mean? So for the past 55 years, black women have been I'm strong, independent, I don't need a man, because they got that government check coming in. They got that crazy check coming in for their little bastard baby over here. They got the good Section 8, their daughter. I mean, they got all of these different set-asides and affirmative action. So they've been able to talk cash shit for a minute now. You see what I mean?
That's
and
true.
They have, and it shows you it shows you the character of this person. Now that you got a few nickels more than me, because Uncle Sam gave you a little benefit, now you want to talk bad about the black man. All right. Well, there was a lot of black men and 30, 40, 50 years ago who would forgive that. But now this new generation of men, let me tell you something about these new dudes. They were raised by single mothers. They have no reverence for women like that, because they seen your dirty tampons. They seen how many men you had coming in and out. They know about that weed can underneath your bed, that cookie can with the weed in it. They know you. When your friends come over and the door closed, Mr. Charlie coming through, Mr. Maxwell coming through, and they got that old music playing. They know what you've been doing. So they don't hold women in high regard like the men did in the past. You understand what I'm saying? And so when they see that same behavior in these young ladies, they're like, nah, you're not no queen, mother goddess. I'm not about to put you up on a pedestal. And so they're not the same. They don't hold women in high regard like that. That's the difference between them and that's the difference between the older generations and the Z's and the alpha generation and these millennials, the young millennials. They like, nah, we're not putting you up on no pedestal. And so they don't have a problem leaving you high and dry, because they know female nature. That's basically it. They understand you, and they don't hold you in high regard. That sounds cold-blooded. I'm sorry. Let me know when you want me to go. I don't have to.
I'm just trying to get through.
I have a late night show. You know what I mean? I have after 9 o'clock show, and kids might be watching now. I don't.
My Nana might be tuning in. Well, that's usually why I always try to keep it Nana friendly.
Hey, Nana. How you doing, Nana? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Anyway.
Okay, D-Max, I agree with Dennis 1,000%. I pay all the bills in my house.
Yeah. You don't want to hear that crap. Like, you stop paying. Let her have to pay the gas bill. That gas bill would be $25. I gotta pay the gas bill. I gotta go to get a stamp, and then I gotta write it out. You're gonna hear about that gas. Well, I paid the gas bill. So I don't want to hear it. Just pay it. I don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Like I said, there's some things that your woman's got her own little stuff. I get it. But for the most part, all the major bills and things like that, and you probably need to give your woman some money. You understand what I'm saying? Just to shut her up. I'm sorry. Did I say that? That was probably sexist. You just shut up. Just hear it, take it, and just leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
Well, my husband says stuff all the time that I'm like, okay, you don't say that on camera.
Man,
he said, which I'm like, yeah, you probably shouldn't say this on camera as a man, but I agree, is that there's just a lot of men out there who don't want to hear women speak.
They don't say again, sister.
He was like, I think there's just a lot of men out there who don't want to hear women speak. They just don't.
Sometimes you get tired of hearing them talking, and like, oh God, just leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, and so just give us some money, and maybe she'll leave you alone. I'm your wife, not just some random ass broad. I'm talking about your wife, or it's normal. It's okay. Because let me tell you what men do. Men don't. what do you need money for? Guys, let's have an honest conversation with the fellas. I see how you live. A dirty t-shirt, a pair of shorts, and maybe one pair of clean tennis shoes and a couple of pair of socks and 2 pair of drawers. You good for the week, maybe a week and a half. You see what I mean? Men don't really need money like that. Men get money so they can have nice shit so that they can typically impress women. I mean, historically, that's what it's been for. So you don't want anybody taking your money from you, and you like to see it stack up and count. It's not really about the money. It's a way of keeping score. You see what I mean? It's like who has the biggest, the longest. Well, never mind. I'm not gonna say that. It's a way to keep score. You see what I mean? But for the most part, you give the woman that treats you good and loves you and you married to, or you give her some money. I mean, I don't know what the why are we even having this conversation?
I have no idea. I don't know.
This is not a question to me. Like, you're supposed to take care of your woman. You understand? Like, I don't see the issue with that. I just got a problem with the fact that there's not a lot of women who are worthy of that. That's what these black men are telling you. They're not finding women who are marriage material. Those type of women that I just described, that may be 5 to 10% of the population in America right now. There was a poll that came out, and it said amongst black men, black men said that about 80% of black women are not marriage material. That's what they're complaining about. Most guys,
they're not inspired.
They would love to be married. They would love to have stable relationships and children and wives and stuff, but they just can't find marriage material. So either they become one of the 51% of black men who aren't married and don't have children, or they get their passport and float through the clouds and go try to find them one.
You said this is a poll, or this is a study?
I think Kevin brought it up. Yeah, he took a poll. He found a poll. He said that 80% of black women are not marriage material, and they eliminated these women for different reasons: too many kids, obesity.
Obesity. At that point, you got what, 15%? Because isn't it like no? 85% of us are overweight, and I think over 50% of us are obese. So if it's a weight thing, it's like that's you.
And the thing is, brothers got low standards. They got low standards. So there's some dudes that smash that too, and that says a lot when these brothers are like, "No, I'm good." It says it's a whole combination of reasons why they're not finding these women marriage material, because black men typically have low standards, and because of the race loyalty. And I know the lovely ladies love to tell black men always date. No, recently. It's only been recent since black men have been dealing with white women and women of other races. That's recent. On the flip side, because there ain't no white women, there wasn't a whole lot of white women being shipped to Africa, was it? You damn sure wasn't going to be doing it in Kentucky and Alabama, not up until about the 1970s, and even still now. So that means that's relatively a new thing. However, black women and white men have always had access to black women in this country and in the motherland. But now things are different. Now it's like loyalty be damned. I'm not doing it. On top of that, you got all these other issues. So a lot of these men are finding these women not marriageable, and that's unfortunate. And that's what I hope. That's what I think Kevin was trying to work on, and I think that's what you and your work, you're trying to be a voice for those women who want to be marriage material. Boy, and that's a wonderful thing.
Well, women don't want to. They're not marriage material because many of them don't see value in marriage. So it's like if it's not a value to you, if it's not something that you perceive as necessary, if you think it's something you're supposed to just come to you. I'm talking to a young girl right now who's 23 and black girl, and she does want to get married. So she's dating, I think, doing all the right things, trying to, put herself out there. And she told me she had a woman in her aunties, mom's telling her, girl, you ain't gotta worry. You don't need to date. You should get your money up, focus on your career, then you should go get married. And I'm like, that's horrible advice. But that's what we all heard. Many of us heard that growing up. So,
here's the thing. Some people aren't going to get married. Some people might want to get married, and then they have the desire to get married. They may want to get married, and then they won't for whatever. That's their life, you see. But at least you told them, you see. And I'm not anybody's leader. I'm not trying to lead anybody. I tell my guys that all the time. I'm not your leader. I'm just, You ask me a question, I'm giving you, I'm gonna point you in the right direction. If you go, you go. If you don't, you don't. That's your life. I'm prepared to step over the dead bodies, whether it's yours or not. And that's kind of what I tell my guys all the time. It is what it is. You know, I'm not here to save you. I can give you some advice. If you like the advice, fine. If you don't, fine. If you're telling these young girls, you go ahead and you go to college and you get your goddamn degree and you get established in your career, and your old 32-year-old ass is not going to be able to get married as quick as one of these 21-year-old women who get married. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's your own goddamn fault because I told you so. And there's nothing else you can do about it. Everybody's not going to make it. You see, this work that we're doing is new. These reasonable voices, these sound voices, these professionals, folks like yourself, fit, feminine, married women. And another reason I appreciate you and the Crimson Cure is because y'all are married women speaking out against all this wave of ratchetness. You see what I'm saying? And your voices need to be amplified. And I appreciate that. And like I said earlier, men like me or voices like mine, they provide cover for you. You see, because you may be saying something that I'm saying, but you say it in a different way, so it's a little easier to digest. Because if they don't want to hear from you, then I'm that Blizzard King. I'm that cold shoulder that's out in that world waiting for you. And if you don't want to learn it at home with Shay Chardre, then you're gonna learn it in these streets.
You don't want to.
You don't want these streets, baby. No, I'm gonna laugh at you while you, oh my God, I'm so cold. I can't find a husband. Nope, your own goddamn fault. But anyway, go ahead, sis.
Okay. I do want to give another shout out to MS Delta guy with the generous $100.
That go the money. That go the money. That go the money. That mother money. Money come. Money come. That money come. That go the money. That go the money. That go the money. That go the money.
And thank you, all of you guys, for this your support, for being here, for showing
Mississippi Delta guy. Yep.
And for hanging out. No, I appreciate it. This is a lot. I love these kinds of conversations.
Yeah. They like to see me out. They like to see me out talking to ladies. You know, they like this. I'll be in there yelling at dudes, a couple of hours. You know, we have a good time over there, bro. But you know, I only talk to men. You know, and I wonder how Dennis would interact with women. He gonna talk to them like he talked to us. You know, no, I'm a gentleman. You know what I mean? Shit, I ain't gonna sit up here and just be talking wild and crazy to this nice lady. But you know, they like to see that. You know, and I know they're happy I'm over here because it gives some balance. You know what I'm saying? Some balance.
I hear you.
Praise the Lord. I'm not mean. Well, I am mean, but I can be civil and kind. I can. But anyway,
you can have manners when you need to.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So, anyway,
well, real quick, I did want to. You posted something I thought which was really interesting about the Passport Bros movement, right? And how you see it as a later iteration of what Marcus Garvey was talking about and Afrikanism and wanting to really build a Black nation. So I wanted to hear you expound upon that, because I think, especially in America, where you got, everything from the FBAs to the ADOS, and who are very much not necessarily, who make it clear that they don't rock with people across the diaspora, don't walk with Caribbeans, don't walk with Africans. I'm curious what made you come to that point, and whether or not you think just the way Black people have organized themselves, whether it's an FBA, ADOS, if you think that's even going to mean anything with the way that this Passport Bros movement is moving or going.
Well, I play the game with us. You see what I mean? Black Americans are finding their own identity. I play the game with you. I'm cool with that. You see what I mean? But at the end of the day, people outside look at all of us as one big Negro. Okay. And so the truth is, that's pretty much how it is. Now, I tell guys all the time, my preference for you gentlemen, and I have to be very careful because I don't want to seem like I'm a racist, but my preference is for you men to marry women of African descent. My preference is for you men to date, marry women of African descent. Okay, that's my preference for you. Why do I say that? Because life is a lot easier. If you marry a woman within your own ethnic group or race and you have children, life is easier for those children because they know who they are. There's not the identity issues that they have. You may have one side that's racist and whatnot, even in certain ethnic differences. So I do that because, you know, I have sons, and that's the same advice I give them. That said, if a person decides that they want to marry someone of a different ethnicity, different race, whatever, hey, look, if they happy and they find peace of mind with that person, I support it 100%. And I would feel the same way about my own sons if they decide to do that. But again, my preference is for black men and black women, wherever they're from in the diaspora, to get together. That's my preference. Now, as far as the movement, back to Africa movement, or and Marcus Garvey, actually, he was not the first person who proposed Pan-Africanism, and I'm actually looking for this on my Facebook page. There was a brother who fought in the Civil War, and Marcus Garvey actually followed him. And if I could, I think his name is Marvin. I'm trying to think of his name right now. I can pull it up for you. But bottom line is, black folks have been talking back to Africa since right after the Civil War. You see what I mean? Yeah. And so the thing is, I don't have a problem with that. And whatever it takes to get the brothers over there, I'm cool with that. Whatever it takes to get them to leave and go meet up with their other people, and yeah, Martin Delaney, that's it. Whatever it takes for people to go meet their brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and Brazil and Guyana, I'm cool with that. You might go for the women, and you might stay because, like, wow, culturally, I mesh with these people. Man, this is nice. It feels good to be around a bunch of people that look just like me, so I'm not ostracized because of my race. You see what I mean? Like when I went to the Million Man March, that was the first time. This is back probably before you were born, back in 1995. There was a million black men there. And I was the safest I ever felt, you know? And there were people who say, oh, it's gonna be trouble. There was no trouble. It was a clean. When we left, it was clean. It was nice. The brothers got along. It was one of the most magnificent events I've ever experienced. But the bottom line is, I feel the same way when I go to other countries, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Belize, Brazil. I could get lost in that melanin. And see, yeah, you might go down there because you're paying for some coochie. You understand? You might go down there because it's a guy's trip. But then when you sit up and look around, it's like, wow, I blend in. And most black men have never felt that feeling. You know, most black men don't know what it's like to walk into a Superdome at Bayou Classic and just be surrounded by 60 or 70,000 black people that look just like you and you blend in. And that's what I want for them. And I think these leaders who started this movement, i.e. the brother Martin Delaney and so many others, Marcus, they would appreciate it. They would see the Passport Bros as that movement. They would see it as, well, it don't matter why they're going as long as they go, because once they go, then they're going to see all the lies that they've been told about Africa have been dispelled. It's not a bunch of people running around naked, dancing in the trees like monkeys. You go to Nigeria, it's a very industrial, got all that oil money, they got all those buildings going on. So whatever reason they go, I want them to go. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Whatever reason you black men are going, I want you to go. And you know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. But it's real simple. It's a simple equation. You go, you realize I like this place for a whole lot more reasons other than just these pretty ladies, and then you end up staying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, last time I went to because I've only been to Africa twice, Tanzania one time, and then Zanzibar. And in Zanzibar, you know, it's a beautiful it's an area that has a lot of tourism, and I consistently saw different families from Europe and white American families going out there enjoying the land. And it's not uncommon. I remember talking to some of the different people at the hotel, and they were saying that like the majority of the people they saw were white people. And if you even go on the advertising, you go on the websites and look at different resorts and look at different places to stay, they're advertising the white folks. So it's like, while black folks in America over here talking about going to Italy and France, especially black women, we love to fantasize about going to Europe. Europeans are going to Africa, enjoying the land in Africa because it's beautiful out there, you know. So and I thought that was so intriguing. I mean, they literally I was there when they had a Romanian festival.
And
I saw a ton of Romanians there, like just celebrating in Zanzibar. Just like,
and the other thing is, man, I want to be able to see my ancestors in the faces of my grandchildren, just like I can see my ancestors in the face of my children. And if you start marrying out, eventually, man, your kids are not going to even look like the people that they're not going to look like your grandparents, And so that's what So again, I'm not one of these pro-black, blackety black. I don't get off in your business like that. But I would like to see a black community. You understand? I would like to see a black community in America. I would like for us to hold on to our heritage. If we can't find women who are suitable here, who are not marriage material, there's no problem. I have no problem with black men going to Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, South Africa, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Guyana, to get fit, feminine women who are willing to be cooperative and good wives. Because that's what I want. I want these men to find peace of mind and happiness. Because it's not healthy having 51% of black men who aren't married and don't have children. These men eventually, either they're gonna tear this place up, or they're just gonna be so unhappy they're not gonna be productive. And so, that's what I want. So I want the brothers to get out and about. I'm not, like I said, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not into the Pan-African thing, the black power. I'm not in all that. I want black men to be happy. And I want you to have peace of mind and happiness. That's purely where I'm at, wherever you get it. You understand? Again, my preference is that you guys find women of African descent. But at the end of the day, as long as you find peace of mind and happiness, I don't care what color your woman is.
Yeah. No, I mean, that to me, from what I've heard and from what you described, that's how I've understood this movement to be. Black men putting themselves in positions where they can try to find peace and happiness and find a woman that actually works with them and wants to get married, because like we already know in this nation, women are not wanting to get married and they're wearing that as a badge of honor. So it's like, a man wants to settle down and build a legacy and have a family.
They don't want to get married. Don't try to make them get married, fellas. Just move on. The same ladies who said you strong and independent, don't complain when these dudes get passports and they start leaving. Y'all need to just go ahead, shut up,
right
down in the corner, and just be quiet, because you've already said enough. It's enough. You don't need to talk anymore. And that's it. I don't see the problem. You didn't want them. Somebody else got them. These same men that you said you didn't want, they dusty and they educated lanes. You got these other women out here making wonderful husbands out of them, or them being wonderful fathers to these other women. And you get to sit back and look at your mistake, which is probably
hopefully learn from it, and or teach your daughters or younger generations or whatever to not do what you did. And some of them, I had it was an interview with TJ Randolph, who I don't know if you've heard of her, but I think she knew Kevin Samuels. But anyway, she got married in her 50s, and she talked about she's married a trucker and they have a very happy life. She's stay at home now, but she talked about how she was on that whole strong single independent BS for a long time, and ended up getting in all kinds of different relationships and different things. And she eventually had to wake up and be like, what am I doing? And even in her 50s, because she was able to make the right decisions and make changes, she found a guy that
one of the biggest curses that black women have is y'all hold your looks for a long goddamn time. White girls get ugly around about 25. They know they need to get on out the game. About 20 years old, they need to get out the game. The Asian ladies shrink up. You know what I'm saying? And the Indian women, they be all pretty, then they turn into aunties when they get about 40. You black women, y'all can be fine. Y'all can be Angela Bassett fine all the way to 60.
She looks
good. Your eggs been dried up on the inside. You can't have no more kids, but you look good on the outside. And there's a simp out there that'll smash. Got your egos inflated. Y'all need to tone it down a little bit. Go ahead and get at the one man and let him enjoy your youth and beauty, and then let him be committed to you. Praise God. That's your problem, though. You look good for a long time, and that's both a blessing and a curse. Amen. And let the church say, "Amen." Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Amen. That's right.
Okay. Well,
Oh man.
I think I've made you cook enough today.
Yeah, we got
a lot of information. I appreciate you hanging out. This has been fun as always, and got some good feedback, some good content. We got a few detractors, and not everybody's going to agree with Passport Bros. I have followers. they believe in marrying in the community and staying here and working it out. And I'm like, look, if you can make it work, you can make it work. But I think I'm all for, look, do what works best for you. If that means you got to go abroad, cool. If you can find that, what is it, 20 or 15 or 10% or less out here that you can work with, and that's fine too. But just keep it respectful. But
yeah, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah, I mean, people don't do
like, what are you gonna do about it? You don't. I don't want them traveling overseas. Okay, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, seriously.
You gonna deal with it. You gonna act like big. You gonna put your big girl panties on. You gonna deal with it. And you simps, you gonna take the dildos out your butt and you gonna deal with it. You see what I'm saying? That's what y'all gonna do. You gonna deal with it. These men are gonna do what they want to do because they're men. There's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah.
And whatever, and that's what I'm saying. But anyway, my bad. I shouldn't stop.
You tried. Well, I think it's about that time. No. No, do you have any other final thoughts or just things you want to share with the audience, the chat?
No, I appreciate your voice, and I want you, you and the other ladies here, keep your voice up. I will be more than happy to provide cover. I enjoy playing the bad guy, is by nature who I am.
Okay.
I don't mind speaking the truth to these folks. And other than that, it's been an honor and pleasure to be here. Thank you so much again. I'm humbly appreciative of it. You letting me out of my cage to come here and talk to people in the daylight on your nice channel with these nice folks. You say, I just we definitely there's a lot of work to be done. Everybody's entitled to their voice, even the detractors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's the thing I say. Like, as long as they're not over the top with it and calling people's families and bringing families and folks. Yeah, just say what you got to say. I like civilized discourse because that helps build. But at the end of the day, you can't control what other grown folks do. Period. You know what I'm saying? But even that's all I got to say.
No, well, and I think to piggyback off what you said real quick, civilized discourse, like it's okay to talk to people that you may not agree with. Right. I think sometimes, on this YouTube space, people can get in echo chambers. And there are times I listen to people that I don't agree with and I still don't agree. Or there's times where I listen, I'm just like, you know what? Okay, I can evolve on that point. But like, you don't have to always be around people where you agree 100% of the time, because that's how you stay closed-minded and you don't grow that way.
Right, right. You don't. But shit, keep fighting the fight. Let me get, I get a little. Don't hit too long. I'm about to come out the bag on y'all, man.
Well, this has been good. I know you have to probably rest before your nighttime. I don't know if you're gonna do a nighttime show, but just get you some.
I still got a couple of more hours of law practice to do before I can do that. So
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. You have a good one.
May the Most High be pleased. Keep it up.
Okay. Take care. All right, guys. So this was a fun collaboration as always. Thank you guys, those of you who've been hanging out here, showing support, showing some love, whether it's through a like or share or a generous super chat. I appreciate all of you guys. And I will be curious to hear from you guys, see what you think. I know I got some detractors in here who don't mess with the password bros, and many of you guys who do, but y'all heard the conversation. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do and they have the right to. My thing is, look, just do what works for you. I don't really care either way. Just make sure, as long as you ain't hating on nobody in the meantime, and you're not calling for the abortion of black male babies, or calling for the abortion of black women. As long as you're being respectful in what you do, I ain't got no issues with it. But it's always good to hear directly from the source. So thank you guys again. This was fun. Stay tuned for other upcoming lives, conversations. If you guys missed the wife panel, by the way, that was bars. Y'all check it out. I did a lovely panel yesterday with 3 other black wives married to black men, if that interests you. So go and check it out. That was some fun stuff. And be sure to hit the notification bell so that you are notified each time I drop a video, I go live. And stay tuned and we'll talk later. Okay, guys? See you later.